Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I am George. We're all George. So, unfortunately, today I have to talk about something else that is not looking good. But here's the good news. Will it affect Bitcoin? Maybe not. Maybe not. So, let's talk about what this thing is, and let's talk about what Bitcoin is going to do for the rest of this week. All right, smash up the like, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell to get notified of all my streams. Follow me on social media. Check out cryptosareus.com and make sure you follow all of my channels. Welcome, 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 guys. Hopefully you guys are hanging in there. It's actually not so bad today. Today is actually, pretty good for Bitcoin. I've been holding steady. Bitcoin didn't really come down today. Yes, we did come down, over the weekend, but today overall, Bitcoin held steady, despite the fact we had, look at this, the U.S. market sold off absolutely brutal today. Dow almost negative 700, NASDAQ down almost 300. We haven't had a really bad day, U.S. market, for quite some time. AMC shares dropped like 40%. It was not a good day today, right? So, despite all that, Bitcoin held. So, that's the good news. But what's not good news, what's not good is this. I saw this, and this is kind of freaky. The euro, for those of you guys that lives in Europe, and I've been talking about how UK situation with inflation, Citigroup said they anticipate that the UK is going to suffer inflation for quite some time, going up to 18%. From where it is now, which is almost doubling, right? But then I saw this. The euro falls to a 2-decade low. Now the parity is no longer. The euro as it stands now, right? It is there's at one point in time the euro actually and right now it is. The euro is worth less than the USD. Think about how much the euro has fallen within such a short amount of time. So this is correct. 1 euro equals 0.99 USD. So that is definitely not a good thing. So the euro parity has been broken in the opposite way, right? And the reason being, well, according to Jefferies analyst, the euro and the pound are both in the same boat when it comes to gas, inflation, and growth challenges. Okay, so I mentioned about UK. Their British pound is not doing that spectacular either. And what's affecting this is, right now, at least temporarily, is energy. So all of a sudden, Russia cuts off the Nord Stream pipeline, right? So now people are panicking over, are they going to turn that pipeline back on? Why is there a sudden, emergency like maintenance, right? So there's a lot of people that's really, really fearful right now about what is happening with Europe, which is why the euro has fallen, pound has fallen, and which is why the DXY is not falling. DXY continues to go up. We're at 109. This morning it was like 108.1 or something. And now it's at 108.94. The DXY continues to go up. So these are things that are counterintuitive to a good crypto market right now, right? DXY should fall. And obviously, with all the stuff, the macro stuff that's happening with other countries, it's not helping the global economy. It's not helping supply chain issues. It's not helping energy issues and all that stuff, right? So there's a lot of headwinds. It seems like it's escalating right now in Europe, a lot more so than before. But the good news is, like I said, despite all these things coming out today, well, Bitcoin didn't go any lower. Bitcoin is still holding steady. And that could be because due to one man and one man alone, and that is Peter Schiff. It could be because Peter Schiff is again being very bearish on Bitcoin, claiming that CNBC has been pumping Bitcoin pretty hard all morning. That must mean crypto insiders are calling some favors, right? Get ready for the dump. So it could be because of the Peter Schiff reversal, whenever he claims that there's going to be a big dump coming, we reverse upward. It could be because I'm just speculating. I don't know if that's the real reason. But, of course, Peter Schiff is still very negative about Bitcoin, even though people like CZ likes to point out, well, you claim CNBC likes to talk about Bitcoin, but you tweet more about Bitcoin than gold, according to CZ. And someone else pointed out a double top for gold, something that Peter will never call out. Peter likes to claim that he's a good chartist, and he charts a lot of doomsday scenarios for Bitcoin, but never any doomsday scenario for gold. I wonder why. All right, so there's those things. So obviously, some of the big headwinds that we're facing today still is there. It hasn't been resolved, right? And Bitcoin has to fight through all of it. Bitcoin, is heading a lot. It's being held down right now by all these macro conditions, right? But despite all that, it is holding strong and it's inching forward. And that's because we have so many good things going on with the fundamentals, with adoption, with buying. Yeah, there's still buying. So Morgan Stanley actually says that the tightening the crypto market has paused. They're looking at liquidity. They're looking at how many people actually are selling off their stable coins and converting it to USD. They're looking at basically the leverage in the space. And they're saying how basically the leverage is gone, the converting is gone. So this tightening in the crypto space has actually paused, which means growth can now, come next. Well, yes. So that's a fantastic thing. And of course, you have other good things. I talked about fundamentals and all these things, models, right? Here's the hash ribbon, which measuring basically how profitable it is for Bitcoin miners. So now we're coming out of that capitulation stage, which is kind of like a stage where it's unprofitable for miners, even though you got to take this with a grain of salt, because I have talked to Hut 8 personally before, and they had told me that their how much they spend to mine in Bitcoin is way lower than what Bitcoin is now. So it's not like they were hurting. The miners are still profitable. So you got to take this with a grain of salt. But traditionally speaking, whenever you look at something like this with the hash ribbon and it's coming out of that capitulation, a red stage, you do see Bitcoin make a tremendous comeback. And that is where we are right now. So that's also positive. Of course, you have a lot of buyers, right? And charts like this prove it. Number of addresses holding 10 plus coins, it's coming up from our lows, right? It just keeps going up. And now it's not an all-time high, but it's at an 18-month high. So I've been showing a lot of charts like this. So there are still a lot of holders that are definitely buying, staying strong. And I covered an amazing statistic, I think yesterday, about how number of Bitcoins being held for over 5 years by holders makes up 90% of the circulating supply. Think about that. 90% of Bitcoin is being held by holders for over 5 years. That's a staggering statistic. Staggering. Mind-blowing, right? So despite all the bad stuff, despite all the headwinds that's holding down Bitcoin, right, there's still a lot of goodness happening in the space, obviously. All right, so what else is going on beside Peter Schiff's reversal indicator? Prosecutors, a.k.a. Gary Gensler, wants to claim NFTs as security. Gary Gensler really wants to control everything. Now he wants to go after NFTs. At least former OpenSea employee says that's what they want to do. It's just like, it's wild, right? I mean, yeah, some NFTs, I think you could say they are securities, but others are not. I mean, it's a really hard line to draw, right? I think Gary has enough to worry about with just crypto overall, not to mention his normal routine of looking at equities and real securities, right? But there's a lot that's going on in this space. So I don't know when he's going to come after NFT projects. Hopefully never. But there's that. So that's not good at all. What else is there? You know what? Just some light altcoin stuff. Today's a pretty light news day overall. I did see this. Some of you guys may think that Litecoin is the way, right? So I received from my Stellar team some awesome Litecoin news. So I was wondering, maybe I'm wrong about Litecoin. You know, I've been so down on Litecoin for so long. Maybe I'm wrong. So here's one thing that I was sent. Out of the 21 largest cryptocurrencies, right? This is measuring the hodl time. And I've been talking to you guys about how much Bitcoin is being hodled. Well, look at Litecoin. According to Motley Fool, which you got to put an asterisk by anything they put out. According to them, Litecoin is being held longer than Bitcoin. I have my doubts about this, but again, let's just take this as, let's just pretend this is true. Does that mean Litecoin is better than Bitcoin? Makes you wonder, right? What else is going on with Litecoin? Well, according to a lot of Litecoin fans, you know, they're thinking this is what's happening, right? Like you got a bottom, and then you got like a tremendous rally coming around the corner, right? So of course, it makes sense if you look at some of the previous times within the chart. Yes, it shows that. And then also recently, you know how I covered how several exchanges in Canada, specifically Ontario, and other provinces, have basically limited Canadians' annual purchasing power of crypto, which is really bad, right? You can only purchase $30,000 Canadian dollars worth of crypto outside of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin. Litecoin is excluded, so you could buy as much Litecoin as you want in Canada, right? So these are all very positive news. So when I saw all this, I'm like, man, maybe I'm wrong about Litecoin. But then I was reminded, Litecoin hasn't been doing so well. So this is the Litecoin to BTC ratio. And over time, since 2014 till now, you're noticing that there's a commonality here. The trend line is just going down and down and down and down. So I was reminded that Litecoin has been losing value tremendously versus Bitcoin. While other altcoins have done much better, Litecoin has been suffering. And, you know, and then I just looked at Litecoin's overall chart, and I'm like, okay, where was Litecoin? You know, back in 2018, right, Litecoin topped out about 412. And right now, well, I should say not right now, back in 2021, it also got to around that point, 420-ish. And then it has come down to $56, right? So right now, even though with Bitcoin being low, it's still higher than our 2017 high. Right now, you look at Litecoin, it's, what, 80% off its high, right? So this is the reason why I don't like Litecoin. I just to throw that out there in case some of you guys are thinking Litecoin is the way. No, Bitcoin is the way, okay? If you want to store value, you want to hedge against inflation, you want the one asset that everyone is trying to buy, you go with Bitcoin, not Litecoin. So just to throw that out there. What else is there? EOS finally rebrands to Antelope. Probably not the best code name for a project, Antelope. Antelopes are tame creatures that's eaten by lions, right? So I don't know. I think you could call it with something better. But anyways, they're rebranding. They're trying to get away from Block One. Basically, a lot of controversy, and a lot of people didn't like what Block One was doing, which was nothing, right? So now they have officially rebranded, and there's a coalition: EOS, Telos, Wax, and UX. I didn't know Wax was part of it. And I heard of Telos before, never heard of UX before. But these four basically will be using the same code base and will work together to accelerate development of the core protocol, which is good. I've been very negative about EOS for quite some time because I've said a lot of their issues has never been solved and continues to plague them. But this could be like a reboot, a restart for EOS. So let's see what happens. So that's good for them. And then finally, some people are starting to spread FUD about, Ethereum. So this one article is like, well, the Ethereum's upcoming merge, is all the hype and everyone going so bullish, on Ethereum moving to proof of stake, is that all priced in already? Well, I mean, some people think so, I guess. Some people, like Raoul Pal, says no, that most people are very underweight in Ethereum. And in fact, he thinks after the merge, it's go start flying, right? So for me, I don't think it's priced in. I think Ethereum has been gaining a lot of momentum because there are a lot of people that are really hopeful, really looking forward to this merge, and there's good things that's coming with it. I created some videos about it. I told you guys about it. The ETH issuance goes down by 90%, right? The stakers cannot sell for like 6 to 12 months. The whatever's in the Beacon chain staked in right now, right, can't be sold for 6 to 12 months, so there's no worry about a massive dump, right? And they're still coin burning. All this together, it's making Ethereum look quite attractive. So I'm not quite sure that it's priced in. But I guess we'll see. I do think there's a lot coming to Ethereum, a lot more coming to Ethereum, I should say. All right, that's pretty much it. Overall, the entire market cap moved up a little bit, just slightly, 0.24%, 1.03. So you do see Ethereum coming up a little bit. There are some greens, right? But overall, yeah, there's a lot of headwinds right now, right? A lot of stuff that's happening, macro stuff overseas with Europe, with UK, right? We got our own issues here in the US. There's a lot of stuff that Bitcoin and crypto is facing, but it's getting through it. It's getting through it. So let's do some Q&A. And my lightsabers finally turned off. They automatically shut off after some time. Haven said, yeah, Cosmos is actually doing pretty good today. I noticed that Cosmos is actually coming up, so that's good. I do like Cosmos quite a bit. It's up 10%. Actually, I should figure out. No, I'm wrong. It's up 12%. I don't know what happened with Cosmos. I missed that, so I have to look into it, but I'm glad to see that. Do you think Matic will shoot up post-ETH merge once people realize Ethereum 2 does nothing regarding congestion and fees? I don't know if it's going to shoot up, but I've been saying NMCT that I do believe Polygon is going to do good things even after the merge. A lot of people are afraid that something like Polygon and Layer 2 will be irrelevant after the merge, but no, you're right. Their congestion and scaling is not solved. So I think Polygon will continue to do well. Doesn't mean that they'll go surge, but I think they'll go continue to do well. And I do believe at this point in time, I would consider them a top 10 project. They should be a top 10 project, but doesn't mean that they go skyrocket right up there, right, immediately. But they are definitely a project I like. Jim Dude, thank you. David, up on top, if you had to make an assumption of how many dead Bitcoins there are that will never be traded again, you're asking about lost Bitcoins. I would say anywhere from 4 to 7 million, if I'm guessing. I've read it could be as high as 8, 9 million. I don't know if it's that high. Yeah, I think it's like somewhere between 4 to 7 million, honestly. Someone said, I'm a whole coiner in Litecoin. Congratulations. Nothing like being a whole coiner with Litecoin. Let's see. I'd trade my XRP for Litecoin. That's an interesting one. That's an interesting one. If I had to choose, not that anyone asked, but if I had to choose, I would choose. Yeah, I don't know. And no, I think honestly, if I had to choose and hold on to something long term, I'd probably choose XRP over Litecoin. but it's a hard decision. It's a hard decision. Samuel, love the Lego cars of your senior Lego collection. The past video got me building the bigger Lego vehicles. Just built a new Camaro. Looks better in person. Well, I'm glad I got you into Legos. But the bigger ones are definitely more challenging and more interesting. They take like a few hours. Probably more than a few hours, like probably 3-4 hours. But the detail's pretty darn good. I got to say, I don't really enjoy building the Technic cars. But there are some interesting ones, especially the bigger ones. They look fantastic. Set and forget a crypto IRA. Which 3 do you pick? I don't know. There's too many good ones. You can't. Everyone should hold Bitcoin. And I do think everyone should hold the Ethereum. Now, the third one is hard. So I'm going to just go throw Polygon in there. But, you know, you could throw in a lot of things, BNB, you could throw in Cardano, you could throw in Solana, you could throw in Polkadot. I think all these will have tremendous futures. Phantom, maybe EOS now. I just covered their rebranding, but there's a lot out there. Atom is another one. Atom or Solana for retirement? I don't know. Just spread it between the two. A war over Taiwan could go nuclear. It could, but it's not going to happen. Taiwan would destroy TSMC before invasion ever happened. Why is Sol underperforming the markets? It's because of all the FUD, because of everything that's happening with their network restarts and reboots and outages, and no one is a fan of their store. Like, literally no one is a fan of a Solana physical store. There's no need for it, and yeah. And then the recent thing with the wallet hack, right? Whether it's their fault or that maker's fault, we don't know. I mean, the bottom of it hasn't been concluded yet, so there's just a lot of FUD around Solana. That's why. Fake V8 engine noise is dumb. It's dumb, but it's better than no noise. I've sat in a lot of sports cars pipe in either through a speaker or through the firewall fake engine noise, and it actually sounds pretty darn good inside. I'm not talking about like the electric ones that you hear on the outside, like on the new Charger Daytona. That one just sounds wrong, but I have heard some that sounds pretty darn good, and when you're driving, you really can't tell if it's real or not. So your BTC price prediction by 2025, I'm just gonna say 250. It's a good number. The next rise up after we break 70,000, can it go up 3-4x from there? Yeah, it's possible. Did Elon Musk make the market crash? No. In fact, Tesla's actually holding pretty well, so I don't think that's true at all. Rich, DCA in the good project, you'll be rewarded. If you're unsure, do some research and tune in. Cryptos are us, not financial advice. I don't think that's financial advice. I don't think you have to worry about that, but you are true. You are true. DCAing, that's why I continue to DCA with you guys on Wednesday, every Wednesday. You know, even though the portfolio looks bad now, it's in the red, but I know it's going to come up. My personal portfolio has gone through so many up and downs, right? And DCA over long haul into the great projects, that's how you get rewarded over time. Take the guessing out of it. Take the emotion out of it. Have you seen a new EV charger in person yet? No. It was a very limited invite. There's only like a few guys At least YouTubers, I think that got invited. But no, it looks great on paper and in the video. But I don't know how it drives. Let's see. My brother's new BMW M4 has a fake engine sound, is subtle but sound. Yeah, I mean, I've sat in cars. I don't remember the last one that I drove that had it, but the ones that do it well, you really can't tell it's fake. It's like, it sounds good. I wish they would put that into a Tesla, so when you're flooring it, you know, it sounds like you're flooring a V8 or something inside the cabin, but I think most EV guys don't want that. Gary Gensler won't stop till crypto is banned. I don't know about banned. He won't stop until it's under his control. That's what he really wants. He wants control over crypto and maybe soon NFTs. He's really power hungry right now. There's a petition to have Gary arrested for obstruction. I didn't know that. I know there's one to remove him, not to get arrested. Honda missed the mark on a new Civic. I kind of agree with that. This new Civic Si is really blah, and I have reviewed it. The new Type R could be good. It looks good right now. The previous Type R was amazing. So hopefully they don't screw that up. But the regular Civic has been toned down, and it's just like a blah sedan, in my opinion. I mean, if you just want a good daily commuter, it's okay. But there's like there's no emotion anymore with it. Am I staking ETH right now? No. No. Why buy a new Civic when 06 is still fine? That's like saying that's like saying why buy any car when my 1992 4Runner is fine? Because sometimes you just need you need a change. Maybe that's why. Honda Pilot didn't change. My wife drives a Honda Pilot. I still drive it around a lot. It's still it's not unchanged, but it's a good SUV. Nothing wrong with it. You mean a 1989 Corolla? Yeah. Or a 2002 Envoy? Yeah. Roy, stop asking about XRP, man. It's getting kind of irritating. I buy your 92 4Runners are amazing. They never break. Never ever break. And that's why Toyota still use the same engine and transmission from like 20 years ago. It's still, the current 4Runner still uses a 5-speed automatic and a 4-liter V6. It eats gas like crazy, but you could run that thing to the ground, drive it like 500,000 miles, 1,000,000 miles before it breaks. It is unbreakable. I've driven a new Sienna. It kind of sucks because it's a hybrid and it's really slow. And I don't care if it's great in fuel economy. It is dirt slow. And that was just by myself. If you are hauling a family with a new Sienna, it's going to be really, really slow. You're going to have a hard time passing. You're going to have a hard time going uphill. No thanks. Is this the end of crypto? Should we buy more? Nice. It is not the end of crypto. I'm 50-50 in Litecoin and XRP. Am I going to make it? I don't know. That's a hard one, crypto guy. That's a really hard one. I don't know how you got there, but I guess you are. Do I like watches? Yes, but I don't want to. I don't want to overpay for watches. So I have not bought any expensive watches recently. But once prices come back down, I probably will. But right now, the watch industry is still crazy. Crazy. Capital Kel, I started DCA thanks to you, George. Great. Great. Do you think Cadena will be a powerhouse next bull run? I don't know about powerhouse, but it'll definitely do well. It is still very early versus a lot of projects. So if it picks up more dApps, more TVL, and more wallet support, it could be really good. Really good. You could say I'm a Toyota Tacoma collector. Tacomas, tacos, they're just as bulletproof as the 4Runner. James, I don't know, man. You gotta decide that for yourself. Hello for New Zealand. Hey, Mariana. Drive a Toyota. Is it Jaja? They don't quit. Is that like a Tacoma from like New Zealand? Cha, I'm not gonna answer that. I never owned a car in the 2000s. I don't know if that means you're just really old or really young. Thoughts on dog meme, please. Which one? There's a lot of them. A lot of them. What's the new Cybertruck prices? Any word? No. But if you are looking to buy a Tesla, you better do it soon before September 5th because FSD is going to go up to 15,000 from 12,000. 15,000 for FSD. Now you're talking about, you're talking about like a Model Y being in the 80s now. And if you're getting a performance, you're talking about close to 90 after taxes. Things are getting expensive, especially with Teslas. You can make money just by holding on and sitting on it. Really. It's crazy. Gelato guy, why were you a buyer at higher prices, but now watches have come down a lot? Now you don't want to pay? No, not really. I bought watches. Well, I only bought two. I bought two Rolexes, and they're still above what I paid. After I bought them, they went really high. But now they have come down, but they're still higher than where I bought it at. So, but even where I bought it at is still like double the price of what MSRP should be. So that shows you, it's still inflated market. I don't want to buy any more watches above MSRP. I just want to buy at MSRP, and that's my new stance on watches. Are you saying hodl Teslas? Yeah, Tesla, the physical cars themselves have been going up and up and up. I've shared this story many times. 2 years ago, I bought a Model Y. It was a 2021. It just came out in 2020. It came out in 2021. With FSD, with the trailer hitch. It was a not performance, long range. Everything out the door, taxes, fees, everything was like 60,000, exactly at 60,000. But you try to configure that now today, it's like 80. It's like crazy. Do you think energy costs are going to eventually hurt crypto? Energy costs, i.e. inflation, estimated to be high teens. Doug, you just retracted your message. Well, obviously, high inflation is not helping, right? There's a lot of concerns about rate hikes, about slowing down the economy. It doesn't make sense, right? But you think about it as the only thing the Fed could do. When there's high inflation, it boils down to you either increase supply to drive prices down or you decrease demand to drive prices down, right? And what the Fed is trying to do is decrease demand by raising rates. But we don't know if that's really all that effective. Right now, seems like a little bit, but we'll see. Only time will tell, right? And hopefully the rate hikes don't kill demand altogether and bring us into deep, deep recession. That would make things worse. But inflation in the U.S. does not seem like it's nearly as bad as it is in the UK or in Europe, especially with external factors like the war and energy being cut off from Russia and stuff like that. So, nice. I already answered your question. No, he didn't, and I don't know why you're saying that. My watch is worth more than my car. I don't know what to say about that. I guess good. I just received my Model X. Love it. MF cash flow. Did you buy the Plaid or did you buy just the long range? Because there's a few things my wife's been complaining about the Model X Plaid, especially on the passenger side. I'm going to create a video about it. But I think they're legit concerns. So I'll probably talk about it. But yeah. Daewoo was better than Tesla. Okay. Okay, Charles. All right. Overall, guys, look at my fancy new graphics. Overall, to conclude, you know what? There's a lot of headwinds, right? What is not good? What's not good is euro falling below the dollar. And what's not good is inflation overall in Europe, right? So there's a lot of concerns, a lot of headwinds that crypto is facing, but we have gone through worse. So stay patient. And let's see what happens later this week. There's some interesting things. There's a press conference coming on Friday, and there's more economic data. So let's see what happens, right? But overall, we will get through this together, and Bitcoin will come out on top. Crypto Confident, I don't know what SATA Pro is. Never heard of it. But you see on the screen. If you guys are interested, make sure you go to cryptosrus.com for the latest news and guides. And you can check out some of my favorite exchanges and the best deals in crypto. So make sure you don't miss them. All right. Have a good one, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow, 8:15 a.m. Central Standard Time. Take care, guys. Bye-bye. Oh, by the way, since someone asked me so nicely about XRP 100 different times, this is the most educational video you'll ever see in your lifetime.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larsen.